And here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC. If you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, it is 4th of July week. So hopefully the lazies hasn't hit your ass too soon. You still got one more day before you get this 4-day weekend. But today we're going to have an amazing conversation. Talk less, do more, authentic ways to build a business community. And that is what this is all about, is sharing with you all how you can build your community, how you can strengthen your community, and more importantly, how you really can be able to pivot your business into the future by understanding collaboration is the new currency that we tend to talk about. But a lot of people, what we find, might not know how to do it or what to do, or even get out of these old mentality, traditional ways of building a community and collaborating with each other. And I have my amazing other half, Tara, with me. We're going to continue this amazing conversation, but you guys are here for our helpful How-To Tuesdays with our Pivot membership. If you don't know about our Pivot membership, I highly encourage you to learn how you can upgrade, upscale, be able to allow us to show you, teach you, or do it for you. But more importantly, we want more for you than from you at the end of the day. And definitely make sure you guys come and join our conversation tomorrow as we continue to talk about crypto versus money, the battle for the future of how many people will be utilizing fintech in the near future. We're not going to be pitching you. We're not going to be telling you. We're not going to be advising you. No financial advice. This is literally us sharing with you facts over your feelings and your mama and daddy and sister's opinions of what they think and what they might know and what they don't know. And we're really going to demystify that and share with you guys facts of how, if you are a forward thinking entrepreneur or have a side hustle or looking at ways to be able to make additional income, especially as we're looking at this financial mayhem that we're in right now with this inflation and with everything that's going on in the world. I highly encourage you guys all to not just be relying on that 9 to 5, just not be relying on maybe one thing in your business, but really understand that you can monetize and strategically utilize your time more effectively as we continue to share with you guys all how you can build your business utilizing this future technology and, more importantly, with a community. And that's what today's conversation is really all about. Of helping you all understand to do it and to press the buttons, because a lot of the times people use this cliche name or cliche words. Oh, I want to build a community. Come be a part of my community. Let's collaborate. Let's be authentic. And a lot of the times what we find is people don't know what that is. People truly do not know what that is. They just talk about it because it's a catchy name. But when it comes down to actually doing it, they don't do it. And that's what today, if your ass ain't laughing or if you're not wondering, ooh, what's going on, it might be you that might not be building that community in collaboration. But guess what? As always, there's grace, there's forgiveness. And today is the day that we're going to shine some light on it and really help you in the path, because a lot of the times it's not growing outwardly. Is growing inwardly on who we have to become for our business to excel and for our business to be what we want it to, because we got to be that way. And so without further ado, love, when we talk about community, when we talk about collaboration, especially, authentic ways to build a business community, what's your first thought process on that?
Well, hello, beautiful people. Happy Tuesday. Have a great holiday week this week. Be productive during this holiday week. Be restful. And most importantly, build community. So that's what we're talking about today. And I'm going to go back just a little bit before we jump into what some of the community things look like and the structures and the columns of a community, but really talk about kind of where we are, what we see now, and why we're having this conversation. It's always important to understand the whys. And so at the basis, we all understand since 2020, community has shifted. The structure of community has shifted since 2020. It is because of more online. It is more, social media based, platform based. It's not so much more belly to belly as it used to be. Still is at some points. Some people really have gotten back into being together, but it has shifted, and the makeup of the community has shifted. And so there are other parts of that have shifted in the community. It comes down to, when we went through some of the things in 2020, not just economically, not just physically, but some things moved spiritually for people. And we're not here to talk about religion or spiritual, but what I am trying to point out is that it has shifted. And there has been a mindset as it has shifted to start embracing and building smaller communities. A lot of times we have seen since the product of 2020 and what happened in 2020, we saw a lot of people, if they lose their positions or maybe give up their positions and move out of the city to be more on their own property, to do something more homesteadish like. You've seen people, kind of decide that they need to build a community and have different people in that community provide different services, whether they're technical, blue collared, homesteading based, whatever they are. It's being able to bring a skill set. And so we're having this conversation today because David and I often, for the past 4 years, have seen a lot of people speak about community, but their actions don't match their words. And as you guys all know, we are very much action-based company. We are very much about, we say what we do and we do what we say. Our clients understand the same thing, as in if they're purchasing products or services from us, or if they're part of our Pivot membership and doing one-on-one and strategy and coaching with us. It is very much, you can talk the talk, but you have to walk the walk. And the reason why we bring this up is because it happens more often than not that people want to build community, which is amazing, but they don't know how to do it. And that's what our goal is today, is to showcase how to build a community, and not so much dwell on the why, but it's really give to actionable steps and understand that the basis of community that has shifted since 2020 is not, we are moving out of the what can you do for me conversation and mode, and moving more into how can we thrive together. And what we see a lot of times is that people they're making the transition, but they're still stuck in the what's in it for me, or what can you do for me? And they still have very self-centered community ideas, which doesn't serve the community as a whole. And so that's what's driven this conversation today, is understanding what we mean by that. And so I'll dive into some of the, structures and thoughts that I have around community. And then we'll absolutely pass this mic around. If you would like to come up and be a part of this conversation, you're more than welcome. You can come on up and be a part of it. If you cannot be a part of it because you're in a quiet time, you're more than welcome to jump into the chat and drop questions or your thoughts and ideas. This is a conversation for all of us to have. And so let's dive in some parts of a community and what that kind of looks like now. The community that David and I are very much, a part of and building is more of a Web3 and a social media platform-based community that is more online, to where we're building community around the world. We are building community to where we are at right now as well, but we are opening up our community to a worldwide opportunity, in a sense of making those connections, being in those environments. That's the cool thing about Clubhouse. That's the cool thing about LinkedIn. That's the cool thing about going live on, Twitch and X Spaces and Facebook and Instagram and all of these, YouTube and all these different channels that we go live, that we're simulcasting to right now, allows us to be able to reach out and say, this is who our community is. We would love for you to be a part of our community. And the cool thing about being a part of our community, you don't have to pay anything, because right here, right now, being around the campfire in these sessions when we open up and we have conversations, this is a part of the community. This is free of charge. This is where you come and grab knowledge. And Cleo knows from being here, being a part of our community for a long time, she knows that most of the time this is where the value is dropped. There's a lot of value that's dropped during these parts and sessions because you have David and Tara here talking on a topic. And our goal is to always leave you guys with inspiration, knowledge, and value that can lead you to go do something amazing in your business. And so community for us is, a global concept. It is, but it's built as if you were in a community of 1,000 people. I grew up in a very small town in Idaho of less than 800 people, and more agricultural than more people than there was people. And so building a community at that level meant very much face-to-face. And these keep the same ideologistic, that was a word I just made up, but it keeps the same ideals. Ideologistic, I like how I just would make things up. The same ideals that come down the pipeline of whether it's a small, whether it's intimate, community. And I mean intimate by just having a small community. I don't mean that in an inappropriate way. Or if it's a global community that has millions as a part of it. And part of that is trust. Trust is one of the biggest things of a community, to trust in the sense that, the value, the knowledge, the sharing that you're learning, that you're hearing, can you trust that information? That is only built over time. That's only built by people being able to do their own research and validate, what the knowledge or value that they hear coming down the pipeline, to be able to fact check that, for the lack of better terms, right? When people speak about things and they share their value or their knowledge and they say, well, this is from my experience, this is from my viewpoint, this doesn't mean this is the only one, that helps build trust too, because the person's or the entities, the community is sharing it from their experience. And the biggest thing I think in community outside of, trust is love. And that's a weird way to put it when we're talking about business communities, right? We are definitely shifting more into a loved-based community. And I don't mean that in an inappropriate way. I mean that as in caring for others, caring that the knowledge or the value you're giving helps them succeed in whatever they are trying to do, being able to, but not take away from you as well. And so everybody wins. And a lot of times, David's going to jump in here and kind of share some strategies of how to build community. But one of the ways that we talk a lot about is because most of us are building social platform communities where we're building a community that you can tune into us on any of these social platforms. There comes a point of, how to build that. And I'll just cut to the chase. The easiest way, and I'm giving you guys some free marketing game here for sure. The easiest way to build community is to go out and intentionally and authentically like other people's posts and give them supporting comments. And if you like their content, then follow them. If they don't jive with your content, or that's not the community you want to be a part of, you don't have to follow them, but just giving them some love as you swipe by is good. Now, there is such thing as love bombing in social platforms that are not good, but that is for another day of conversation. But it really comes down to the simple fact of understanding that while you're scrolling, the most authentic way to get someone's attention to be a part of your community, instead of you going and saying, hey, David Jones, be a part of my community. You want to be a part of my community? Be a part of my community. Push that button. You want to be in this? Here. And strong arming people and manhandling them into your community is attraction.
Or spamming them with your newsletter and having them join your newsletter, especially on LinkedIn, right? When people want you to be a part of their community, they send you, their link to join their subscription, but they don't follow you.
And that's exactly what I'm getting to, is the simple fact that if you are wanting people to be a part of your community, you have to be willing to go be a part of their community. You have to go say hi. You have to go like things. You have to go be a part and engage if you want people. And the easiest way to do that is through attraction. And the easiest way to attract people is through support and love. And so if you're out there commenting, hey, I really like this post that you did, it was really educational, I learned value, or just giving them 3 thumbs up, or hey, keep up the good work. Anything that is supportive in your comments, your likes, your reshares, those things are supportive. By the way, they're free, FREE. And so a lot of times, like David's sharing, people want you to be a part of their community, but they're not willing to be a part of yours. They're not willing to support your community. And it seems real basic, but in 8 years of being in business, and all 8 years of those being a social media based business, and that's being where we do a lot of our building, it is incredible to see how many people want support but are not willing to give the support, are not willing to give the love. They want the love, but they don't willing to give that. So I'm saying this because you have to stop and look at yourself. Are you doing it? You're wanting it. You're here because you're listening to this conversation because you want to build community, but are you doing it? And that right there will tell, because let me break this down to you. If you go out and you like a few people's comments, like you find a creator and they're talking about, quilting, say you like quilting, and they're, giving some value, you're like, whether you knew the information or not that they're sharing, and you like it, you just hit the heart button. And you're like, well, this creator kind of intrigues me. Let me go see what else they have. And you look at 3 other videos and you like those 3 videos. And then after 4 likes or 5 likes, you leave them alone, because you don't want to love bomb. That's love bombing. If you like too many, the algorithm gets really
for you and them
finicky. It doesn't like when you over love people. This is so, it's, anyways, we share that because, 3, 4, 5 likes on somebody's, page, but not going bombastic and crazy.
like I used to.
Like everybody. Yeah.
No, I literally, like
David,
on Clubhouse, when I would meet people, I would go to their Instagram and I would literally like all of their posts. If they had like 50 posts or 100, I would just be hitting the like button like crazy.
And that shadow bans you as an account, and that shadow bans their account.
Now.
We know that now, that we didn't know that then.
But my intent was just to give love.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the whole point was to go with, we do that, jump in to give love. It piques people's interest. They'll see, oh, Hello LLC liked 5 different of my videos. I'm going to go check them out. Who are these people? And it creates curiosity. And when you create authentic curiosity because you're being helpful and supportive, then people want to come out and look and check you out. And then if they like your comment, they might follow. You don't know. If that's at that point is an authentic, organic community growth mechanism. You're not out there love bombing people or forcing people to join your what was it, the newsletter, like David was sharing, and being kind of that person. And so that's what I wanted to share about the pillars of community as we get this conversation started. Mr. Jones has a bunch of information, but with that said, again, if you want to be a part of this conversation, you're more than welcome to jump up here and be a part of that. You're also more than welcome to come check us out in our metaverse. Click thehellowllc.io in our bio or above your head if you're in Clubhouse, and you will see the link immediately to drop right in there. And that's just like us, you listening in if you were on LinkedIn or on Clubhouse. It's the same thing. It's through an app, but it is the metaverse experience. So, Mr. Jones, back to you.
Yeah, and real quick, those of you guys that do not know about, that just joined in, the Hello LLC is here to, first of all, build your foundation. Those of you that are utilizing crusty, dusty, old, outdated websites that you haven't updated, before the pandemic, after the pandemic, we're now, about to make this huge transition into this new generation, Web3. Then it is time to upgrade your actual foundation, because you literally have less than 3 seconds to get people's attention. And just as we shared with people sending out email campaigns, people sending out, their newsletter, but not showcasing their business, not posting about their business, they are behind the times. And this is where we share with you guys all these newer strategies, which is why we're talking about building a community. If you're not paying attention, let me drop a little bug in your ear. When you go to the grocery store and they ask you to sign up for their membership and you get these special discounts, when you go to Taco Bell, or you go to these fast food restaurants and they ask you to sign up for their actual event, they've been sharing with us what the whole goal is to build a community. Because when you build a community, guess what? You then can start having some membership platforms. You then can start having some apparel. You then can start being able to showcase your business in a completely different way that you might not have thought about. And so this old traditional way of you do you, I'ma do me, let's see who gets to the top, those days are over and gone with. It is now time for us all to understand that there's no need for anybody to be number one. There's enough abundance for us all to win, especially as we move to this global e-commerce. And those of us that did, such as myself, which is why I'm talking about it so bluntly, had our parents that would have those conversations. Well, look at Suzanne over there. She's doing this shit. I'm going to do it better than her. And that's that mentality that we continue to remind people we have to overcome these dramas, these traumas, these patterns, and these programs that run our life, especially those of us that are entrepreneurs. We allow our emotions to take place other than really looking at the bigger picture. We talk about a 30,000 foot view, but we ain't got no 10,000 foot view, just trying to talk it, just like I shared earlier when we talk about collaboration, when people talk about authenticity. Your ass can't even much spell the two words, but you're sitting up here talking about that. And so this is really where we want to deep dive into really understanding the groundwork, building up that engagement, utilizing technology, being able to motivate, right? Having that right culture. And then more importantly, keeping that culture and that community going by encouraging other people and building together. And so we're going to go through some of those things. I definitely want you guys to raise your hand, put in the chat if you have any ideas, anything you have. We are not experts. We will love anybody that has their 2 cents. No question is a dumb question. Just make sure, you asking a right, not what's 1 + 1. And so, this is really, well, these days, you never know. But,
some
days you never know. But you guys definitely encourage yourselves to open up the 4 most expensive things, because as we go through these things, you're going to hear some of them be like, I tried that shit. That doesn't work. This, that, and the other. And that mentality, right? That mentality of not knowing or not wanting to move forward is going to get you in a world of trouble. And that's why I'm sharing with you the 4 most expensive things is a closed mind, a closed mouth, a closed heart, and a closed hand. Especially when we talk about investing and upping our game in our business, and more importantly, upping your game in all areas of your life, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay. How you do one thing is how you do everything. You don't take action in your business. You don't take action in your relationship. You don't take action in your relationship. You don't take action in the bedroom. You don't take action in the bedroom. You don't take action with social media. You don't take action with social media. You don't take action with multiple things in your life, because all of those things circulate under one premises, your values. Okay. And so what are your values lie? What does that mean to you? And most importantly, are you committed and consistent at doing those things? Because there's a lot of the times we show up, right? And we show up for a little bit, but then we drop off and we go back and we falter back in that program and that way of being and that mentality that we've been running with, the story that doesn't do us any good. And old keys do not open up new doors. And so I really want us to be able to focus on the groundwork of when we come talking about, really building your actual, infrastructure and your community. Is, first of all, identify your niche. When me and Tara very first started, it was literally, hello, stood for helping everyone live life optimally. That is what we preached for the first 6 years, right? To where now we've changed it. We just changed it even recently now to where it's helping entrepreneurs leverage leading edge optimizations. Now, instead of leading edge optimizations, it's leading Web3. And so do not be afraid to continue to change, to switch, to do things, to build yourself up and to keep yourself up with times. Because a lot of the times, us as entrepreneurs, we stick to this one thing and we don't adjust to times. We don't adjust to the structures of what's going to help us get ourselves in advance because we're so stuck. Do not be in quicksand and always be willing to move. So identify your niche, identify your target audience. More importantly, who is your target audience? Please just don't say women over 35 and they're this, that, and the other. You need to know what they like, what they do, what they dress like, where they go, what other things they like to do. You need to understand that psychology. You really can utilize ChatGPT, right? Go to your old crusty, dusty website that you're using. Hopefully you get an appointment with us and you upgrade to your biz in a box, but copy that. Copy every single word that you got on your old crusty, dusty website. Go drop that bad boy into ChatGPT and go ask ChatGPT, go ask Omni, go ask Gemini. I don't care what you ask, but go ask one of them and say, can you please help me identify my target audience? And if you need additional questions, please ask me those questions. Because what we find a lot of the times is people don't know their target audience. You can't build on a faulty foundation, which is what we continuously share with people. People want to get into metaverse, but your ass ain't even got your website in order. So when they go into metaverse, what am I going to lead them back to? Adobe? What am I going to lead them back to? A Canva website? No, stop it, right?
And so a link that they have to type in,
or a link tree, right? Please stop. And so this is where we continuously showcase to people that, hey, having your foundation is key. And then not only that, define your community's purpose. What is the value that your community will bring and will share with the rest of the world, right? Choose the right platforms. A lot of you are only utilizing maybe one or two social media outlets right now. Check this out. On this live event right now that you're listening to, we're on the brand new Chatter. We're on LinkedIn Audio. We're on LinkedIn Live. We're on Clubhouse. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram. We're on X. We're on YouTube. Which one? And that we're on. Where else are we? That's everywhere, right? That's multiple different platforms for people to get this actual information. And so I ask you, how many social media, right? How many social media posts are you posting a week? First of all, how many social media events are you doing? And not only that, how many, things, how many different platforms are you on for people to hear about your message? Because
that provide value, by the way.
That provide value, right? And look, everybody now can provide whatever they want to. We just choose to provide value, which we find that the value that we provide, most people don't want to listen to. Most people would rather listen to problems and anxiety and depression and all this other craziness that's going on in the world, but won't really focus on the things that matter most. And it blows me and Tara's minds away that we go and look at other social media, outlets or other posts, and they get thousands of views of somebody busting their head open when we're literally giving the game away for free for you guys to be able to catch up with times. Because AI, this Web3, this AKA metaverse, it's not going anywhere. It's happening faster than you can possibly imagine. These robots that people are like, oh, those are kind of cool. They're coming to you by the end of the year. Okay. There's a $16,000 robot that can fold out in your house and you can start making it work and twerk all you want to all day long.
Work and twerk.
Right. And so this is where we encourage you guys to really pick your head up out of the sand.
You get a robot to watch. There's a thing called YouTube.
You like that? You like that? You like that? And so, this is where we encourage you guys to really, pick your head up out of the sand and understand how these things are going to help you out when we talk about this type of information and choosing the right platform. If you're selling children's books, please don't be on LinkedIn
I thought
only.
you were going to say if you're selling children. I was like, wow.
This went dark real quick.
That went way left.
If you're selling children's book, if you're selling, be sure that you are targeting the right audience. Do not be targeting things because you're comfortable in one area or one app, when in all reality, you should probably be on TikTok. You should probably be on Facebook. You should probably be on Twitch. You should probably be in multiple different platforms to get your message out there, especially now, guys. We're able to be on all these different platforms with one time. So often we get in our own ways when we talk about technology, when we say, oh, I'm not good at technology. That's not my thing. That's for the youngsters. This AI, this Web3, there's not going to be a number attached to this shit, okay? It's not going to be an age limit attached to it where you can give yourself an out. I'm just here to let you know it's not going to happen, okay? You're going to be finding yourself in technical debt more than anything, especially if you're not learning and doing. Right? There's one point in learning, but your ass better also do, because you and your little paddle, right, or your little inner tube, one arm is action, the other arm is learn. And what we find is that some of y'all are just learning your asses off. You just going in a circle. Oh, I'm not ready for this. Oh, I'm not ready for this. Oh, I'm not sure about this. Oh, I got to learn this. I got to learn this. And your right arm is just sitting there not doing nothing. You need to put that other arm in the water and do more, right? And learn at the same time. And as I shared the other day, your ass can't learn to drive, right? You actually have to drive. You can't learn to fish. You actually got to fish. You can't learn to walk in heels. You actually got to walk in heels. You can't learn to put on your makeup. You actually got to start putting on your makeup. And so this is where we share with you guys all. Stop being afraid. Stop being fearful. Stop worrying about what your friends are going to say. Stop worrying about what your mama, your uncle, your nephew, any of them are going to say, and just do it. Prime example, share an inside story with y'all asses. This is a getting naked story, but I'm going to give you a little preview. My mama called me yesterday talking about, oh boy, I see you on TikTok. I see you doing real good. I said, mama, I know your ass ain't looking at my TikToks and not liking my shit.
Yep.
I said, what are you doing? I said, it's a damn button, mama. Hit the like button. What are you doing? She said, oh, baby, you right. I can hit that like button. I said, yeah, your ass better be hitting that like button moving forward, sharing the stuff, commenting on it. That's my baby. That's my son. If you need anything, go talk to him. Right? You remember when you were telling me about my cousins and nephews hitting you up for money, right? You ain't got to do none of that shit for me. Just share it. And so, and even those of you that do have family members that have a business, and maybe I'm talking about your ass, right? You need to be hitting the like button. And this is what Tara talked about earlier. A lot of us want support. We share our stuff. Like there's multiple people that will send me their events when their events come up, but don't like any of the posts. Don't come to our events, but they want you to come to theirs. Like that's a one-sided story. Like that's not building a community. That's not collaborating with other people.
And some people might say, well, you haven't showed up to mine yet, so I'm not going to show up to yours. When you do it, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about is
Yeah.
You have to get out of that mentality of I'll do it when you do it.
Yeah.
You got to go do it.
Yeah.
And regardless if someone else does it, you got to go like the button. You got to go show up to the event. You got to do all of these things regardless if anybody else does it.
Yeah, straight up, real talk. And people say, oh, well, I'm busy during the day. I'm big. Your ass is TikTok and scroll holding your ass off. You could come and put yourself in the room and close this app down and go somewhere else and scroll hold your life away. Right. And so this is where we share with people, especially, if you are building a business and you want to build a business, these are some of the things that you really have to do. And so, that's the part of making sure the groundwork is identifying your niche, right? Define your community's purpose and choose the right platforms. Okay. And you can never be wrong on any of these platforms. So the next thing that we want to talk about, is building engagement. Okay. This is where we're going into is creating content. How are you creating content? Those of you that have been following us, and I hope you follow us, right, know about our Getting Naked podcast. We are posting about that every single day. So many times that when we have events, We're worried about, oh, I don't want to overpost it. Do you know how many times your ass has seen a McDonald's fries commercial?
You might not even like McDonald's.
You
but
know
you
how many
wanna see
times
'em.
your ass has seen a Taco Bell commercial, an Apple commercial, a Walmart commercial, a Target commercial, a Dairy Queen Blizzard commercial, and your ass would be like, ooh, shit, they got me. Let's load up. Let's go to the Blizzard. Right? Let's go get us a Blizzard. And so you all have to have that same
Buffalo
mentality.
Wild Wings.
Yeah, but I mean, all of these, they have influenced you. And this is where I share with you guys all. Marketing is for people to know about your business and what you do. Branding is you being consistent and committed to continuously sharing that message. And so often we play like hot potato with our business. Like, here you go. Ooh, I don't want to talk about it. Ooh, here you go, hot potato. Ooh, here you go.
Well, that's because we used to be a nation that was very much small businesses. We were over 90% small businesses over 100 years ago. And because of the large corporations that have taken up most of that, and it's now we are less than 10% of small business and 90% is corporation, it has become taboo to talk about your business because of corporate entities that have set that standard. And that is why people hot potato their business, like you say, because it's taboo to talk about it, you know?
Or you have those people that say, oh, don't be salesy, don't be this, don't be that. And it's more so those people don't know how to sell.
Yep.
And they don't want you to showcase your business. And we stop people from showcasing their business. So that's the word that we use is don't sell.
Yep.
When in all reality, guess what? If you got good product and you have a good service, you should be talking about it from the mountaintops. And more importantly, you don't have to talk about it. Your customers will talk about it, right? As we continuously share with you guys our customer testimonies of them getting our biz in a box, of them joining our Pivot membership, of them understanding how important that Hello AI MotionWorks is for them, to where they don't have to be sitting behind the camera for hours, making sure this is right, that is right. I'm too hot, I'm too cold. Literally let AI do the work for you. And then more importantly, with our Hello Plaza, metaverse, where people have to understand, as we showcase, and if you guys don't know, those of you that just joined us, we are live in our actual metaverse world as well, where you can check out Miss Marilyn Clark's Mac Leadership, where she's able to showcase her DISC program, her membership platform, her brand new book that's out. She's also able to give away a free chapter of her book in the Biz in a Box, so she can collect those emails and send out effective email campaigns, not just spraying and praying to people, and also be able to get rid of her crusty, dusty Zoom. So when she's doing her webinars and her masterclasses, she can say, no more Zoom. You guys meet me in my metaverse world, where you literally can have your avatar. You can all come and meet me. I can share my screen. I can do everything that I can do on Zoom. But even better, you ladies don't have to show up and show your face and get that Zoom fatigue. And it's a proven fact. Listen up, listen well. 50% more engagement utilizing the metaverse from traditional Zoom. Facts. Okay.
I played all day Saturday with my avatar clothing.
Exactly. Okay. And not to mention, when we talk about
and it was great because I didn't have to get up and change clothes. And I'm like, ooh, I like that outfit.
Yeah,
ooh.
we did. So we have Roberta Pacino, Al Pacino's sister. She has her Kiss of Fame podcast that she does in our Hello Plaza in her studio. And so we do the technical work for her actual podcast behind the scenes. And literally, guys, me and Tara were in our pajamas, in our sweats. It's been raining here in Guanajuato, Mexico for the last 7 days, if not more. And we didn't have to get dressed. I know Tara didn't have to worry about putting her makeup, hair, and all that. Just show up in our avatar and boom, we're ready to rock and roll. And so these are the different trinkets and advantages of utilizing this Web3 that most people don't know about. And it's okay. That's why we're here to continue to share this information and for you guys to see that businesses are already utilizing the metaverse, just as Miss Roberta Pacino is, where she can showcase her fine wall art, her actual Etsy store. You'll also see, Cleo Matthews, that she was in here earlier with Set Yourself Free. She's able to showcase her entire membership program and platform. Also, having people join her actual podcast as well in the metaverse, and then going back from her Biz in a Box 2D to 3D. And so as we move forward, in building a community, let's talk about, building engagement. And so we talked about, having content, showcasing your actual events. hosting online events. This blows me away that so many entrepreneurs have a business and you all aren't showcasing your business at the rate that it should be. In these weekly events that you can utilize on these social audio apps where you don't have to get dressed, you can be in the metaverse and do these events is huge, right? Running contests and giveaways. You guys buckle up because next week we're going to be having an amazing contest where those of you that come and join us in our metaverse world, right, you're going to be able to literally earn some prizes and gifts and services and things from us, by just coming into our metaverse world. And so be on the lookout for that event next week. Encouraging discussions. If you don't know what to talk about, then guess what? Whatever you like to talk about, we talk about passion and profits, but a lot of the times I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have a passion. There's nothing that I don't know what I do. Well, first of all, to find a passion, your ass got to do shit. A passion is just not going to knock your ass upside the head and say, hey, this is your passion. No, you actually have to do it, right? And be sorry at it and suck at it and just continue to do it. Like my passion is social media and metaverse. I sucked at it at first, but now I'm actually pretty damn good at it because I just continued at it. And this is the mentality that we share with you guys, is to get good at it, right? So having encouraging discussions. Not only that, right? Recognize and reward contributions. Those of you that come in our room, Santosh, good to see you back, brother. I don't know what rock you've been hiding under, but good to have you back. But giving that encouragement. Facilitate networking events, right? You continuously hear about me talking about, having these events. Lead people from one event to the next. If you're not doing events in your business, I'm sorry to say, you really ain't got no business. Just like if you're not posting anything out about your business, you really ain't got a business. Be preventative. Look, July 4th is in 2 days. Get a post prepared to congratulate everybody for July 4th, just like you should have had a post that went out for June 19th, right? And so this is where you all can be preventative in your business utilizing these tools, which we'll talk about next. What you got on some of those topics, love?
I think the biggest thing is the culture that you talked about and the engagement part. A lot of times, again, it comes down to people want it, but they're not willing to go out and take that engagement. It's kind of like that old age saying of, you want respect, but are you giving respect? It goes in, are you wanting something? Are you giving it? You could fill in the blank to whatever it is. And a lot of times we are not doing that. We are wanting it. We're expecting it. We have unexpected expectations set around it. But then we are not taking the hard truth look at things and go, am I doing this? Am I showing up the way that I want people to show up for me? And a lot of times what that is, people don't realize that, I go back to this analogy. If you are in the hospital and all of a sudden you flatline, they are going to show up with a cart and, with paddles and yell clear and, give you an electrical shock to, hopefully get your heartbeat started and get you back into, this thing called living status. And a lot of people don't realize that means that we're electrical beings, we're energy beings, and you are the energy that you are creating. So if you want people to be a part of your community, are you doing the same? Are you being a part of other people's community? Are you building? Are you being intentional? Are you going out and asking? And when I say asking, you can say, hey, I'm looking to build a community with these people. And you can go and list your niche out. Like, I'm looking to build community with moms that are 35 to 45 years old, have at least one, maybe up to 3 or 4 children. Maybe they're stay-at-home moms. I'm not a mom. I'm just throwing out there, a category, a niche. So are we asking, are we being intentional, and are we going out there and finding other, people that are similar to what we want in our community and building community with them, right? It's no different, guys, than when we're out and about. And, some of us when we were, younger, even now, we want to talk to somebody across the room, whether it's, professional or personal, whatever your motive is. you got to approach someone. You got to initialize that somehow in some way. And we have been, fed this standard that in human contact, like where we're belly to belly, face to face, that if it's for personal reasons, like a personal relationship that you're seeking, that the man has to seek after a woman. And I say that because that gets stuck in our ways of being, that then, women kind of have this way of, I don't have to go out and build community. People are supposed to come to me. And then the same thing happens for men as well. And so we have to look at those standardizations that have been placed in our life and kind of, start reverse engineering them and kind of breaking them down and go, no, that's not really the MO. I'm here to build a professional community. I'm here to build a personal community. I'm here to build a sisterhood, a brotherhood, whatever it is. What are you looking to build? You have kids and your kids need friends. So you're looking to build, community with other moms so their kids can build, community with your kids. What is it that you're building, right? And so it just comes down with that intention. And then the expectation of not expecting people to be a part of your community just because you have it. Like, why do they want to be a part of it? Like, why do you want to join the Kroger's or the, Albertsons or the, whatever frequent shopper club? Because you get 10% off every time you shop. And then all of that money that you spend goes towards gas points and you earn free gas. That's value to you. What value are you offering? You don't have to be giving things away for free, like your services, but you can give away knowledge. You can give away, support. There's nothing, man, I'll tell you right now, Lady Drew's not in here today on our LinkedIn side, but she just spends zero money with us and just shows up to support.
Yeah.
Just shows up to support. Like, I don't think you guys realize.
She reshared one of our posts, 15 posts in one setting.
Yeah, and I don't think people realize the value of someone just supporting you like that for free. Like, there's huge value in just reposting someone's content. Like, yeah, it's funny. Dave will talk about people on TikTok. I'm one of them. But it's funny because I'm out there building community. I go out and I purposely comment on these people's, comments, whether it's about, good, bad, or indifferent. And what I mean by that, whether it's a sad post, a happy post, and lend support, like, hey, sending you lots of love. That doesn't take anything but 5 seconds of my time. It doesn't cost me anything, sending you lots of, support from afar. People talk about how there's more support from people they don't even know, just downright strangers in this world. And then it comes down to the simple fact that there's more support from them than there are of people that have known you all your entire life, because this thing called competition sneaks in. And people love to be in competition because we've been bred to be in competition. And what I mean bred by that, it's just that standard. That was society's standard for so long, was there has to be a clear winner. And if there's a clear winner, there's a clear loser. Okay, cool. But we're still in that thought process. And when we're building community, that is not about who's winning and who's losing in the community. That's not community. It's where everybody is thriving in their own right. So that would be what I would add to it, Mr. Jones.
I love it. Love. And so, the next thing that we want to talk about is utilizing technology. And this is going to be right up our alley when we talk about this conversation, because you guys know that we focus on utilizing upgraded systems, implementing new foundation to your broken down foundation that you have now, and really being able to restructure that. So creating a brand online, creating a branded online space, right? Whether it's a dedicated, website, a form of community that fosters a sense of identity and belonging. And so that's exactly where our Biz in a Box comes into place, to where you guys all right now can go to our Biz in a Box and get our amazing online guides that we have. Where last week we talked about 20 ways to monetize your business on in Metaverse. We have a free guide that you guys can go get. Go get our AI guide, where you get over 35 guides to be able to help you implement in your business. My mom was telling me how my sister did an amazing job on a presentation at her job the other day, and it was because me and Tara shared with her an app called Gamma. That could really be able to help her with her presentation and cut the time in little, not even half, like 25% of the time that she spends on doing a presentation, it does it in like that, if less.
It takes it from what you spent hours into less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
Yeah. I mean, go get that guide that we have with multiple different things. Christmas is right around the corner. 4th of July is right around the corner. You all are about to go over to your significant other, family houses, and you're going to be pulling out that old scrapbook. And instead of having that old scrapbook, why don't we update that into, a digital, yearbook, a digital family guide where you guys can take all these pictures and continue to build on it. So that way, if Aunt Marjorie's or grandma's or anybody's house, mysteriously something happens, knock on wood, it's not lost. And so this is really where we have to upgrade our technology, not just within our business, but in our overall life. And it blows me away. People that say, oh, AI, it's going to take away our jobs. Well, hell, aren't you using Siri? Aren't you using Alexa? And haven't you been using Grammarly Check? How much time has that been helping you out with? Don't you have a Tesla car? Don't you have this car that has all this automation in it where you can talk to it and all this stuff where you don't have to do these things? And yet we continue to forget, right?
Our apps are very much AI.
Yeah, our apps allow us to do these things. And so this is nothing more than an evolution to where this is where we share with people. You can either be forced or you can enjoy the learning curve and you can embrace this change. And now, as I shared the other day, especially for those of you that are entrepreneurs, you don't show up at the networking event, setting up your booth when you're an hour late, 30 minutes late, getting everything set up, trying to get everything to look well, when there were people there were 30 minutes, an hour earlier, and they're set up, and now all they're doing is greeting people. They're not sweating their butt off. They're not trying to, get everything in order because they were there. They were preventative. And so often we are not preventative in our business, and we wonder why it doesn't work. Well, I'm here to tell you, because your ass ain't working, flat out, right? We're expecting to just go by the seat of our pants, and that's not business. Apple, McDonald's, Walmart, Target, none of these guys say, ooh, let's just throw this event. No, it's well thought out. It's well planned. You should also have planned, because a goal is completed when you write it down. It's halfway completed when you write it down. And so, utilizing streaming platforms like we're using today, creating online courses or tutorials, whether they're free, whether you charge for them, that's a great way to build a community. I know you guys are those of you that have been following us, and especially those of you that have heard of us, and we continue to shout this from the mountaintops, start a podcast, start a podcast, start a podcast, start a podcast, start a podcast.
Heck, we have two.
We literally have two. We have our Hello Pivot on Thursdays.
We really have four if you want.
Well, yeah, we really got four. We got today, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday for our Getting Naked. I mean, that's literally what these are. Our mini podcasts that go on for 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. You never know. And so, utilizing that.
Sometimes 1 hour.
Yeah, sometimes 1 hour. And so make sure you're utilizing that online collaboration. Integrating gamification elements into your business.
I said this 8 years ago.
Yep, you absolutely did. And look, I looked at Tara crazy for Cook. I was like, girl, ain't nobody gonna go and play around and shit like that. Girl.
And I said, this was my reasoning behind it. I said, we have to stop, because we were having a marketing conversation. And it was, how do you attract more people to you? And I said, we have to stop and look at ourselves and what attracts us. I'm just going to speak for myself. If you make your information intriguing, like a game or something, like let's think Candy Crush style, like I'm intrigued. I want to come play just to learn knowledge because it's presented in a game-like situation. It's called gamification. I want to be a part of it. And here we are 8 years later, where gamification marketing is such a thing, because that is now what these big businesses, Nike, BMW, I mean, all of them that are, moving over, McDonald's, all of them moving over into metaverse.
That's what the
metaverse
online,
is gamified marketing.
That's what the online programs was, to join my program for the gamification.
Yeah, and that's exactly. And what is it? It comes down to even I saw someone the other day said this. She's like, I did, when TikTok had their little, like, when you become a certain amount of viewers, you can go live, and I did that, and they were like, okay, goal 1 achieved, goal 2 achieved, now do this, and then you do that, and goal 3 is achieved. She's like, I did more work because of the check mark that I got, and I got to see that goal was achieved. Somebody put together a system that showed me. I went live. It didn't benefit. I didn't get. She's like, I didn't get shit out of it. Besides the fact that I got to go live. I mean, I helped TikTok more than it helped me. And it's the fact that she's like, I'm still intrigued because it's gamified. And so that's the thing. BMW has a thing right now where you can go into their metaverse, and you can test drive one of their motorcycles in their metaverse world. It's like a real life test drive. So now it's a virtual test drive, and you earn coins. And as you earn coins, you can trade those coins in for apparel that they have. And so it comes down to that. Like, now people are going in and you can virtual test this bike 100 times in a row. If you want a t-shirt, they don't care. They'll absolutely send you a free t-shirt. Why? Because you just went in there, you told all your friends, you're now a walking billboard with their t-shirt. It was fun for you because you earned these coins. It didn't cost you anything but your time. That's what you felt out to do. And so now you have a t-shirt to talk about it. You are a walking marketing plan for them. And all they had to do was gamify their test drive in virtual reality. Guess what? All their insurance goes away. They don't have to worry about no liabilities. People like getting in a car accident or a wreck,
they just know what they
themselves. They just come in. If they wreck the motorcycle in metaverse, who cares? It pops right back up. The person's okay. The bike's okay. Everybody keeps out. Heck, they might even earn some coins with that wipeout. That's the point. Is there's so many positive attributes to being able to make these positive movements that, the power of gamified marketing within metaverse is a huge community builder, because people want to come in and be entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we see Miss Cleo is back. We're actually in Cleo's storefront right now. If you guys are joining us in the metaverse, and this is where she's able to showcase her podcast. She's able to showcase her coaching. She's able to showcase her actual community empowered, right? She's also able to give away free of her services and her guides also in this 3D immersive world, because it transitioned, for those of you that are watching us, where it says this big discover more button, and it says click view and visit website. I literally get to click that, and it goes right back to her Biz in a Box. And so this is where we showcase to people that, our Biz in a Box literally helps you with your foundation in the 2D world, and then to be able to go into a networking event, just like Miss Rhea talked about last week, that she was able to put her QR code right up to people, to now they can go and hit her QR code, go straight to her Biz in a Box. And now she's able to have a conversation about everything that she does, and people get a visual effect of it. And this blows my mind that I know myself, I'm a visual person. When I see things, I can more put it together, whether as somebody talking about something, prime example with the metaverse. So we can talk about it all day long, but until you actually see it and you press 4 buttons, you literally click our Biz in a Box, hit that big button that says Hello Plaza. It's going to take you to your mobile app store from your phone. If you're on your laptop, it's going to take you to literally into our room, to where you download that app from your phone. You come on back to our Biz in a Box, hit that big old button that says Hello Plaza again, and boom, pops your ass right into our Hello Plaza, and now you're able to experience something a completely different way. And when we share the metaverse, it's like somebody in the 1930s, 1940s that has been traditionally only listened to the radio. And then all of a sudden in the 1960s, this brand new thing, TV, comes around, and everybody's scared. Everybody's saying, oh, no, nobody will ever sit in the living room and watch this big ass box that weighs 1,000 pounds for 8 to 10 hours. And what happened? People saw it and was like, oh, shit, this is better than the radio. Throw that radio out the window. And this is where we're at now, to where that transition from the radio to the television, and it literally where people are going to be sharing where is your metaverse instead of your website. And with that being said, Miss Cleo, do you have anything you want to add on to this topic now that you're back, ma'am? Or Tracy, or Giggles, or Miss Augusta? We appreciate you being down there. Come on up. Nazil, Ivy, Renee, Brenda. Any of you have anything? Please feel free.
That's okay. So I wanted to share this when you were talking about it. When you were talking about how to get in the metaverse, and it's 4 buttons. You know, we had somebody the other day share with us that they were trying to get into the metaverse, and all of a sudden their app store opened up and asked them to download an app, and they were like, "Oh my God, no!"
Freaking out.
And then they stopped, and they messaged us and said, "I can't get into metaverse. I'm having problems." And we asked what was going on. It says, "Well, when I hit your Hello Plaza, it asked me to download, it took me to my app store and asked me to download, an app." And it's like, that's exactly what you're supposed to be getting. And so I share that just because it's so important to remember that, guys, what used to be is not what is so now. And what do I mean by that statement? We used to, and some of it still is a little bit, but I mean, you have to be cognitive about this and use some, technical common sense. We used to get links. People used to send people to links that would, be, scammy or, schemy in some sort. And, they were intentionally trying to trick you. But if you're a part of a community, or you're listening to a part of a community, just like ours at the Hello LLC, there's a certain part when you guys can get in here and understand we're not about here trying to scheme or scam you, and if you are to download a link, as long as it's not asking you to put in any of your credit card information and all that, be curious about it. Of course, this is where I say technical common sense comes into play, because anytime that anybody's asking you for sensitive data, your credit card information, your banking information, your social, any of that sensitive information, you need to be like, nope, that doesn't smell right. If it's in around anything financial, which is why David and I do not, when we have our rooms on Wednesday and we talked about fintech and we talk about Web3 and cryptocurrency and blockchain, we don't talk anything financial in the sense of like where we offer our Pivot membership if you want to be a part of that. But outside of that, because that doesn't, like I started this conversation off, building trust with your community. The fact that you even are here today, you're a part of the community just because you showed up to grab some of the value that was in this conversation. Doesn't matter. You could never come back again. That's okay. But you are a part of the community for a day. And so it comes down to, and this person who was doing it has been around us a lot of times and knows that we are not leading anybody astray. And so for that person to kind of go, well, I wasn't sure about that because it wanted me to download an app. That's exactly the fear that we talk about with, that we get in our own way, that we're so fearful of our own shadow at times that we're too scared to click a button. We're too scared to, go check things out. It's like, go get curious, go look at things until you have to swipe a credit card or put a credit card in. Go look at stuff, go get curious, go create a free account with, whatever AI tool you're trying to use and, get in there and play. And the thing is we've lost our ability to play and to be curious. And that's what this share is about, is that we have to kind of learn how to be part, that's why a lot of us love our kids so much, is because they just have this innate sense of play and they don't have any boundaries. And sometimes we wish they did have boundaries, but that lack of boundary and that innocence that we call that there is still there. That creativity process is still there. And as we get older, we lose that. And because we just go, oh, well, if I do that, this is going to be the outcome. And we don't know the outcome until you do it. And so a lot of times what we are sharing in this entire conversation about community is to take action, create the community that you're looking for. So actively seek that out, and don't be scared of your shadow. Like, go out and push buttons, be a part of things, do things. Heck, even if you want to be a part of someone's community at $7 a month, go be a part of that for a month until you're like, nope, this is not the community I want to be a part of. Oh, yep, this is what I want to be a part of. Whatever it is okay to be able to take a little bit of adventure within a safe zone. So that's what I would add to that, Mr. Jones. What do you got as we wrap this beautiful conversation up?
Well, see, Cleo's back. She put it in the message. She couldn't get back to the mute button. But go ahead, Miss Cleo, if you're here. Cleo.
She's probably away from the button again.
All right, so we'll wait till Miss Cleo comes back. So, the next thing that we wanted to talk about, as we talked about, the actual technology, especially when we talked about, the podcast, being able to do your events, being able to utilize the AI. And look, guys, if you guys do join our community at our $7 a month Pivot membership that has well over 100 videos to show you how to do the simple task in your business that you might not know how to do, I highly encourage you to go up to the top and look at our actual Pivot membership and become part of this. And even anybody that joins our community now, within our executive, we have a 30-minute consultation. You join our Pivot membership and we'll give you one of those consultations for free at the $7 a month one, where we can show you how to do your Google SEO, how to be able to implement your YouTube, how to be able to do your TikTok, how to be able to show you how to start your podcast, how you can utilize these different streaming services as well. I got you, Miss Cleo. And then even more importantly, for you to be able to understand the basics of your business and why you're doing your business. Because a lot of the times what we find is that people start a business, but then there's really no direction of what they should do next, or where they should pivot to, or how they can monetize their business, which is something that we do masterfully at being able to help you monetize your business in the same amount of time. So many of you want to do so many things, but you share with yourself, oh, I don't have time. And you absolutely have the time if you're utilizing the right technology. Prime example, when I said about social media earlier, and I shared with you guys earlier, you should be on an average of 7, right, social media platforms out there right now. That's how many social media platforms you should be on. And I'm more than certain you looked up, David, Tara, you out your damn mind. I'm not about to go post on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on X Spaces, on Pinterest, on my Google SEO, and my YouTube, because that is an hour process. Give me an emoji if you know that feeling. And you're like, hell no, we won't go. And a lot of the times people don't do that, right? And they're not committed at doing that because it's just too damn boring, be completely honest. I spent 60 hours a week doing that for our business for several years because I understood that email marketing was out. You guys are emailing people, ain't nobody opening up that shit. You're asking people to subscribe to your newsletter, ain't nobody reading that shit. You're not even much reading your own, let alone somebody else's, but yet we continuously think that that is a new trend, and it's not. Your social media is your email campaign. Your social media is your newsletter. And you posting at least once to twice a day is going to be key, especially understanding that you're seeing 5,000 to 6,000 commercials a day, if not more, especially depending on what social media network you're on. You should be doing the same. And so that is really what our Pivot membership not allows you, but really we can show you, we can teach you, or we can do it for you with some of our upper levels of our membership platforms. And so this is definitely where we encourage you guys to start doing and stop talking, right? And you don't even need to join our Pivot membership at all. Don't be talking about community. Don't be talking about collaboration, and you're not liking nobody else's post. You're not sharing anybody else's post, because especially on LinkedIn, you worried about who's going to see that you like somebody else's post. That blows my damn mind. You want more exposure for people to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I might want to follow this person, because when I post, I know they're going to like it. My numbers are going to go up. And if they also repost my stuff, oh my God, I want that type of person in my community, because I myself do the same damn thing. And when we all do that, we all grow together and we build together, as long as we get out of that old mentality of what used to work doesn't work right now. And so this is what we highly encourage you guys to be able to do and to implement into your daily structure. And so hopefully Miss Cleo is back. Go ahead, Cleo. What you got for us, ma'am? Uh-oh, she had to leave and come back. Something's going on with her mic. But, you know, as we'll wait on Miss Cleo to come back. Miss Giggles, you got anything? Santos, you got anything? No? All right, cool. So the last one that we wanted to talk about was the culture, right? Establishing culture is having clear guidelines. And this is the one thing I'll share. Miss Cleo, you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Go ahead. Take it away, ma'am.
Hey, everyone. Good evening. Super excited to be here this evening to listen to this conversation, because I can definitely relate to it about building a community and collaborating with others. I personally have had the experience of when you break into the social media scene and you're trying to build your business, people that will connect with you and say, hey, let's collaborate, and had some bad experiences, but I've also had good experiences as well. And one of the things that I would say is, when you have those not so positive influences, not to give up, right? Because some people will tell you, hey, we want to collaborate with you. And as you said earlier, their definition of collaboration is not necessarily the same as yours, right? They want more from you, and they don't want to give, right? They want you to come and support them and give to their whatever it is that they're doing, pay for their services that they have. But when it comes to you and you're like, hey, I'm doing an event, can you just show up? That's it. There's always an excuse. And sometimes that can be, discouraging because you're trying to build a community, right, of like-minded people. And I'm just saying, you gotta, you can't let that discourage you. You gotta keep pushing forward and know that you will connect with the right people that are going to be there to support you and help your community to grow, and also to have the right collaboration so that your business will grow as well. So that was my little 2 cents. Thank you for sharing the information and giving the tips. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Cleo. Absolutely. You're so spot on. We've had multiple stories that we've shared, with each other. Miss Cleo is one of our executive pivot members. If you guys do not know about Miss Cleo, Set Yourself Free, definitely go and visit her amazing Biz in a Box up at the top for those of you that are in Clubhouse, or you can go to setyourselffree.io. And you can be able to see her amazing work. You can also go and visit her actual Hello Plaza storefront that she has as well, that I know she's going to be bringing her podcast into the metaverse, to where you guys can be able to really see how she's going to be empowering people and showcasing her business and her brand. And Cleo is absolutely amazing. And we continue to give her huge props, having a family, having the kids and the job and running her business on top of everything. And, we say we don't have time. And going to school. She's making time and getting it done. So kudos to you, ma'am, for sure. And thank you for showing up and supporting us in our community, just as we did when you were live on the radio station last week as well. And that's the one thing in our community, guys, I can assure you, and Miss Cleo can attest to this. You send out a post, your ass is getting a like from Hello LLC, David Jones, or Tara, if not all. Ms. Giggles can probably attest to the same things. When she puts out posts, we're liking it, we're commenting, we're loving it. Even if sometimes some of our Pivot members or Biz in a Box clients forget to put their link in their social media, I'll tag it in there for people to go and visit their actual business. And so this is what we do for each other to really help each other grow. And something that Cleo said was so important, or I think you might have said it, Love, is that we have these events and we know how discouraging it can be when people don't show up. And a lot of the times what happens is that we have an event and people don't show up to that event, and that stops us from doing other events. There are so many damn events that me and Tara have done that 0 people have showed up to, but we just kept going and we kept being consistent. And so often in building a community, that is what stops building a community, is because people don't show up and you think that your value isn't worth anything, or what you have to say, nobody wants to listen to it. And that's not the case whatsoever. My first question to you would be is, how many times did you let people know about this event? Did you post about it once? Did you post about it just 2 to 3 days advance? Or did you post about it a whole month, 2 months, 3 months? Did you send out notifications to people in their back channel to your friends? Hey, I got an event. I need you to come here. Did you actually go live and talk about your event and do anything about that? Today, if you guys followed us on our social media, you saw that we put out 3 posts today alone to get people to this event. One was funny. If your ass hasn't went to go see it, I would highly encourage you to go see me and Tara dressed up in makeup and give it, and it's going to make you laugh more than anything. And then we did another one, right, that we did before this. And you guys follow us, we will follow you. I promise you, we are not those people that say follow us and we don't give love and support back. I can assure you of that. And so, you know, you guys definitely make sure you tap in and learn more and join our community, because as we continue to share with people, we want more for you than from you. And what we find is the opposite way around. And a lot of these organizations, when they do talk about let's build, let's do this, let's do that, and it blows me away that we talk to these people and we see these people, their actions behind the scene, and it's like, whoa, what you said is not what you're doing, and you asking everybody else and you telling everybody else to do this, but you're not doing this. So
there's a lot more than you guys imagine that are very for lack of better words, they're very fake on the upfront side. And when you get behind the curtain and start working with them, it's a whole different animal. And that's just people in general.
Yeah, that's just people being people.
People being people. That's not even, that has no pun against business owners. It's just people being people. And so when you find real authentic people, it's hard to come by.
Yeah,
so,
that part.
But you were talking about, I was going to say you were talking about culture. So.
Yeah, culture. And before I continue, Nova, I saw you came up. Did you want to share or tap in on this subject? Let's go.
Peace, King. Shout out to the room. Yeah, I for sure wanted to just jump in and just me being here for about 5 to 7 minutes, man. I love the gems that you guys are dropping. I think for sure the information for everybody, I think everyone in this room has heard this before, but it's very important to have a community like your guys's, where you have people there to validate, confirm, and remind you of these things, of never to stop, keep going, and so on. Very, very important. I love the social media aspects. I think that for me over time, and it's not that I'm successful at all with anything, but just the things that I've been learning is, in the beginning, you for sure want to have all of these platforms, if that's what you choose to do as one of the ways that you would like to go. I think over time of using the platforms, you're going to gain some information that's going to let you know where more of your time should be spent. I'd say it'd be like the same thing if you were doing like Google Ads or something of that nature. Maybe you want to work certain zip codes. Then you find out, hey, when I spend these zip codes are giving me a little bit better return, right, on my business. So maybe I need to allocate a little bit more that way. So very, very important for sure to work with some of these different platforms. But as you begin to find what's working well for you, because you have some people that they're TikTok specialists. Some people are really focused through YouTube. Some people prefer to go through an Instagram and live that way. And you're going to find what works for you. Most importantly, the most important thing I would think is it's not about the like. It's really about the engagement, because nowadays the like is a like on a post is kind of just like people have become so immune to it. It's just an automatic thing that the finger does sometimes when people scroll. At least that would be my opinion. But engaging. So if you see somebody leaves you a comment, you might not be able to get back to it right then and there, but do your best to respond to those comments. If it's on your YouTube page, your Instagram, your Facebook page, whatever, because those are gonna really be the people that are reaching out to you saying, hey, I want to be a part of this community for real. Liked your posts, left you a comment, right? Maybe a question and so on. Engage those people, because those, like they say, you don't need 2 million followers, but if you had 200 strong people that are there and dedicated, and if you put out a shirt, a hat, or anything, they're going to be there to purchase it. A lot of time people have all these followers, but does it really contribute to them making money? So really focus on just, if you get a comment from somebody, I would say do your best to respond to that comment. And it means a lot to them as well. I appreciate all the game you guys are giving. I'm going to fall back and just keep soaking up the gems. This is Nova. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. So spot on, and even to tap on top of that, I shared this in our Getting Naked podcast, and excuse the language. Fuck followers. Followers don't equal dollars. Okay. Our point is into sharing, into liking other people's, stuff. It's like you walking in the store. I would not walk in the store and see Cleo and not say hi. I wouldn't walk in the store and see Nova and not say hi. I mean, that's equivalent to you all just pressing the damn like button or even commenting, because that's even time. And that's something that we share with you guys. Time is our only competition. And if that's your competition, we're damn sure on the same side. And that's really what it's all about. If somebody gave you 2 seconds, 3 seconds of their time, of the 86,466 seconds that we have, they gave you 5 of those where they could have spent it anywhere else. But it's not that hard to just like back or comment back or respond back in any shape, form, or fashion. So you're so spot on.
The engagement part is key.
Yeah.
To be engaged into your community. So if you have people liking, commenting, reposting, whatever it is, comment back or go return the favor.
Yeah.
It is about being an engaging. Everybody wins, when everybody engages. And again, followers don't equal dollars, and likes don't have dollars dropping into your pockets at the end of the day. But what happens is when you start building that community, you'll find that there's a loyalty base in it. And if you engage people like that, because then they feel seen, they feel acknowledged, and people want to be a part of communities that are seeing them, acknowledging them, supporting them. That is, wouldn't you? I would want to be a part of a community that sees me, acknowledges me, and supports me for who I am and what I'm doing, and not pit me up against somebody else, or, or ignore my presence. That's very elementary-ish. And a lot of us came from elementaries and middle schools that people did that and it didn't work. So absolutely, which is, the whole conversation of what we've been talking about, which is the culture side of things, Mr. Jones. Yeah. So I know you were going to share what would that culture fact.
And I got it out of the way. So
okay,
last thing, right? And let me just give you guys a prime example. So I shared a post on Tara's social media not too long ago with Ed Milet, with who's the other lady? The Dolores Cannon, right? Some other people, and let me share this with you guys. And Tara's going to do a post on this. I'm going to try to get her to do it because it won't be right if I do it, right? This post got 85,100 views. It got 3,860 likes, 24 comments. And then it was shared 1,800 times, and then it was saved 2,134 times. So
And
the crazy thing is that Tara got 392 followers from that actual post. Check this out. I actually sent, when it was like at 200, I sent people messages in the back end to just thank them for the love, thank them for the support, and to, hey, go get our free guide. Guess what? 0 people went to go and get a free guide. 0 people commented back. And so this is what I'm sharing with you guys all.
$0 were made.
Zero.
Off of that.
Zero. Nobody said, "Ooh, let me join your pivot. Ooh, let me learn about this. Ooh, let me learn about that."
Instagram didn't send us a check.
No, Instagram didn't send us a check. And so this is why we share with you guys so many times that we're all chasing after the proverbial bullshit of, ooh, let me make this post go viral. Okay, get it to go viral. First of all, if it goes viral, you better have great foundation and systems in order for people to learn more about you, right? Thirdly, stop worrying about it. Put your business out there, because the more people that don't know about your business are going to be able to do something with your business. And a lot of the times we base our social media and building our community or doing something new for our business because we're worried about what our friends, what our family, what other people are going to say. And you got to stop doing that, right? You got to just start showing up and doing these things.
Hey, you know what? Your friends and family are going to have something to say when you're sleeping on their couch because you're worried about what they say and you're not being successful. They'll definitely have something to say then. So you definitely just need to do what you're going to do now, because again, the biggest thing that you should not be caring about is what others say about, especially if you're out here creating value, creating community, creating a positive culture. You know, you don't have to be doing the same thing we're doing, but as long as you're out here being a productive member of society and adding more than what you are taking, then don't give a damn of what anybody says about you, you know. And that comes from 2 cancers that we care about what people say about us, but we've learned not to. We've had to stop that progress and that not even progress, that train of, you know, worrying about what others think about them, because it comes down to, you know, life's short. And when you get to the end of it, do you want to have a life of, oh, wow, that was a great, oh yeah, that was a great time too. And or do you want to have a life of regret? Well, you know, Bobby Sue didn't like when I did this, or, you know, Jane didn't like when I did that, so I didn't do these things, you know. And a lot of times that regret is what holds, you know, those viewpoints, and that judgment is what holds us back. And who is anybody to judge? We all have to, you know, answer for that someday at some point. And look, like I tell everybody, you know, regardless of who you believe in, I'm going to have a laundry list of shit I got to answer for. So who am I to add to that list? Because I don't want to add any more to that list and be like, why were you judging so-and-so at the age of 41? Why were you doing this? You know, like you come to a certain point in your life where it's like, okay, let's just stop that, build in intention, provide value with intention, and throw out the concept that, you know, you're going to have a viral post and you're going to get rich off of it, because you won't. And
look, and we bust people's bubbles on that because it stops so many people from moving forward because they're worried about that aspect. And when you are building a community, it's really just being clear, right? It's about being able to be transparent. You guys know we're going to tell you the truth. And if you ask a question and we don't know, we're going to say we don't know. We're not going to, you know, blow any wind up anywhere. We're literally going to find out together and be able to discover these things, you know, more importantly. And something that we continuously share with you guys is being grateful. Gratefulness is the best reception you can possibly ever get. And so often we live in this negative, low vibration, energy world of living. And it's about being better, not bitter. And what happens so often, things happen in our lives and we get bitter other than getting better. And you really got to ask yourself, are you getting bitter, or are you getting better and wanting better and carrying high energy, carrying high frequency, carrying those frequencies that really raise the room, other than being that negative Nancy and it doesn't work.
And
it
if you
will
are
never work.
negative Nancy, with all love, you got to stop and look at why you're being that. Why are you in that way of being? Why is that how you show up in the life? And if that's what you want, then okay. But you're going to have a community of negative Nancys. But if that's not what you want, really do the work to be with yourself. That's the biggest community right there, is being with oneself and then creating more community around them. And when you're in a community of healed people or people that are healing, and when I mean that, that's doing the work. What's in your closet? That's, stopping to look at what is going on in your life. It's doing the recon of, understanding what makes you tick. It's learning you. And when you can learn you, and then you can find the space to give and pour from a full bucket, of course your community is going to grow faster, better, bigger, but all of those things, because you've done the work. But when we're trying to build a community and we don't have a lot of positive vibrations or a lot of gratitude in those, you're creating more of a cesspool that maybe you do want, maybe you don't want. And look, there's going to be a lot of people out here that, are going through a way of life of trying to, most people in America right now are just trying to keep their head above water with, working 2-3 jobs to keep, a roof over their head and food on the table. It's a real thing out here. And so when you're in survival, don't talk about this kumbaya stuff and getting right with myself right now. Ain't nobody got time for that right now, Tara. And I get it, because we used to be a part of that rat race. Yeah. We used to be very much in. The reason why we can talk about this is because I was that person that woke up very disgruntled every day and had a very much big chip on my shoulder and the what the F do you want kind of attitude, because I was exhausted. I was tired. I was, on the survival rat race. And 2 years of being out of that, boy, there's a lot of healing that's been going down the pipeline because of it. And because today it's a holiday week, it's a slow week for everybody, and we get the luxury of being able to say, is it a slow week for us, or do we want to work on this, or do we, what do we want to do? And that's the beauty of what we've created. But we've had to, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of attunement with our own selves without even looking at the other person around. It's just really that goal of betterment for yourself. And so community is a natural thing that comes with that after you've done that. But you can build community in who you are and how you are. It's just whatever supports you right now. I will tell you, when you do build community there, like I have, that community is no longer around. I no longer have those friends, because I'm no longer that energy. I'm no longer that vibe. I'm no longer that vibration of drama and, that constant upset and that constant, it's always got something going on in my life or whatever. I'm no longer that person. And so, of course, I no longer have that community because I'm not that vibration. And so that's another thing. Like David shared earlier, your community will change with you. And sometimes you'll go through a part where you have very little community and you have to go out and find new community. It's okay. And a lot of times I see these posts, or I see these, these social media platform prejudices that say, if you are, don't have a friend from, if you don't have an old school friend that you've had around for 20 plus years, that shows the character of who you are. And I tend to, disagree. If you do have that person around, then great. You guys have probably grown together. There's been some growth that has happened or whatever. But I also tend to disagree, because if you do have some of those same people around, then maybe you're not growing. Like, it just depends on each situation. And so I don't think we can label broad communities and actions within communities as one. It's what works for you. It's what, makes you happy and brings you value and joy while you're in service to others. One of the greatest gifts that we can give is to be in service to others. That really is what fuels all of our souls. Like if you talk to some of these people that have all the money in the world, they don't have no issues with anything of that. They're the biggest thing, the biggest flex that they feel, and it's not even a flex, it's just the biggest sense of accomplishment is being in service to others. And so when we find that, and when we find we can be in that entity, it's a vibration that is pretty cool. So, but I could talk about this for hours. So I'm gonna park my scooter there and pass it back to you, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, well, hey, look, guys, we greatly appreciate you all joining us today for our amazing How To Tuesdays. Talk less, do more, authentic ways to build a business community. We highly encourage you guys. Go ahead, Nova, what you got?
Absolutely. I wanted to say one of the things that I learned, and I learned it through Clubhouse. I really love Clubhouse. And through Clubhouse, I've learned a lot in just different rooms and things of that nature. And as mentioned, there will be times where you do have different communities, and life is balanced, right? And sometimes the communities you might be involved in, it might be spiritual, right? Sometimes the community that you're spending a lot of time in is working on the physical, right? These different planes that we have naturally as humans. So nothing wrong for sure. I totally agree. Just like multiple platforms, different communities, but sometimes certain communities are what you need at that moment for your spirit. The last thing I wanted to say was one thing that I really learned from Clubhouse when I was young. One of the things that I always looked at was like, why don't more people support my rap, right? Why do I gotta sell tickets, call people, make sure that they're all these different things? What Clubhouse taught me was by being in different rooms, as opposed to sometimes me just looking at what is it that I'm doing and looking at everyone around as they should be in the same mind state as me, like this can get us all rich and my goal, my dream's important, why isn't everybody doing something? Through Clubhouse, what I really, really learned, and always known it, but it was just really, really learned it, was bringing value to others, right? I wound up getting a lot more support on things musically or whatever the case was, right? Follows, whatever the case was. And it wasn't because I was per se in the room and I was talking about, hey, I can do music, right? It was maybe we were talking about, there was a debate about what was going on in the news, and there's people who will resonate with some of your ideologies. And sometimes those people then will begin to follow you, will begin to network. Most importantly, what I really, really learned was, and it made me think, I said, you know what? Why don't I do for my friends everything that I wanted them to do? So if my man has the camera and has as opposed to me thinking he should be here shooting videos for me, maybe why don't I look at my friends' companies, my friends' dreams, and let me go be a tool to them? Hey man, I know you have a show coming up. You need me to pass out any flyers for you? So as opposed to me just looking at everybody do something for me and help me, and in my mind, I'm like, but I have a good heart. I know if something happens, I'm gonna bless everybody, but everybody doesn't have that same goal. So what I had to do, and this made me even feel more fulfilled, right? Going back to what was mentioned about when people get money, a lot of the times they want to do philanthropy. Now, whether it's for tax write-offs and so many other things, we hope that normally it's in the good, philanthropy, giving back, right? Paying it forward. So I'm going to land on a great tool is write down some of your friends. What are their companies? What are their jobs? What are their goals? They might work a 9 to 5, but she loves to sew on the side or she loves to bake cookies. Breathe from what it is you're doing for a second and go ask them, hey, how can I help you? Right? I'm here. I might not be giving you money, but you got my blood, sweat, and equity tears, or tears as equity here to help you push it forward. And doing that with the right intent, it's for sure going to feel good to you, but naturally, whether it's through that friend or it's through the universe, those things will come back and it'll be reciprocated. You're going to find people are now trying to figure out how can they help you. You're there always helping them.
So yeah, Clubhouse taught me sometimes not to just really look at everything I got going and see other things that other people got going at times to see if you can be conducive to them. Again, I appreciate the platform. This is Nova. Yeah.
We could have just wrapped up the room with that 3 to 5 minute share right there of the gist of what we've been sharing for the last 8 years of how
whatever you want in life, you go do it for somebody else.
Someone else, and you will be paid tenfold, regardless if it's through the universe, through that person, whatever it is. Whatever you want, go help other people do the same, and it will come back. So,
you want more money, go help somebody else make more money. You want better health, go help somebody else, with their health. You want whatever you want, go help somebody else. And then what you'll find is probably a better way not to do it or a better way to do it. Number one, then you'll gain some more people to help you with what you're doing, just like Nova said. And that's exactly what we talked about, right? Is that prime example? A lot of us have went to networking events and we stand our asses in the corner and we wait for somebody else to go with us. Or talk to us, or we go with a group of friends so we can continue to talk to the same people and not network with other people.
Or there's that one person that makes it a point to go to every table and you're like, oh, don't stop here. Not that person. It's all that judgment that we have.
It's all that judgment that we have that stops us. And little do you know, we are all one conversation away from changing our lives, from changing somebody else's lives. And more importantly, for us to remember that, you are helping somebody with their survival guide and the landmines that they can avoid. But more importantly, you are helping yourself to remember how far up the mountain you came. And a lot of the times you need those reminders, just like Nova, you reminded us just now about, hey, whatever you want, go help somebody else do that. And that's why I share with you guys, when you wake up in the morning and we all go look at our phones, and nobody's commenting on your shit, nobody's liking your shit, nobody's sharing your shit, well, your first question should be, well, how many people's posts did I share? How many people's posts did I like? How many people's posts did I comment on? And I can assure you that it will correlate with what you did first. And stop waiting for other people to do things and you do them, first, and then we'll come back and not expecting it. Not, oh, I liked your post. Ooh, I did this, that mentality where I did this, and we do shit out of the kindness of our heart and we expect, to get something back. That's not collaboration. That's not true friendship, right? Just do it from the kindness of your heart, as my mama used to say, and don't expect nothing back. But I see we have Miss Leanne up here on stage. Did you want to add anything before we get out of here, ma'am?
I'm glad I joined the room. I just want to say I've just loved all those positive, happy, inspirational shares. I just wanted to quickly add to it. I joined Clubhouse about 2 years ago. My sister had been saying to me since the start of COVID, get on Clubhouse. She'd made so many amazing connections, started going to these events. The man in the picture with me, I actually found him through Clubhouse. He's a world elimination doctor. I was left because I was so complex and rare by the hospital. And when I first come on Clubhouse, I was in a room that someone actually knew a specialist that could deal with really rare, complex conditions. He could hear how ill I am. When I actually found this specialist, they said I was pretty much 80% dead. Every system in my body was starting to pack up on me. And if it wasn't for finding Clubhouse and finding the right specialist, because I was looking globally, the right doctor that would be able to help me, just through finding the connections, finding the right rooms, and like you said, finding your community for what you're going through, Clubhouse has been amazing. So I just wanted to add that before you finish.
Well, absolutely, Miss Leanne. Thank you so much for jumping up here and sharing that. And ditto to you and what Nova shared about, just the magnificence of Clubhouse and being able to create community. Boy, let me get that unpeeled out of my tongue there. But it really is, we've been able to create community as well. We've been able to be a part of communities. Again, it's whatever you're searching for, whatever resonates with you. And like, Nova had shared earlier, it's, when you're having conversations with people, people will be a part of your, a fan of you, a part of your community, whether it's just a community of one or two, they'll be a fan of you just by you sharing who you are and what you're going through. Because again, like David and I share, your story is someone else's glory. Your story is someone else, is going to help someone else or going to resonate with someone else. And then there's that, bonding of over what's going on within that community. And there's no definitions of what communities need to be, but we do need community at the end of the day, because we are creatures of commune. We want to be around other people. We want to be around, other like-minded individuals that, maybe create attraction and fun, or, challenge us in thinking in our mind, or, have those deep conversations. What I liked 10 years ago is not what I like today, and so it's a beautiful thing when we can connect, and it changes our lives in whatever shape, form, or fashion, like it has for you, Miss Leanne. But it's a beautiful thing. What do you want to add on to that, Miss Leanne?
Sorry, I just wanted to add that I can't remember who it was that was speaking, but they were saying when you do something for someone else, don't ever do it like expecting in return. Like, I have had a lot of obstacles in my life, but I've never helped someone expecting anything in return. But all the obstacles I've had, I've ended up making amazing connections, some amazing friends, and I do feel in life we do go through things for a reason. We don't always know what that reason is. Sometimes later on in life, you might turn around and think, do you know what? That was actually preparing me for this bigger fight that I've got later on, and you needed the experience and the tools to be able to do it. So I'm full of gratitude every day for the life I've had. I've been very blessed, but yeah, there's been a lot of obstacles, but I wake up every day and I'm full of gratitude.
I love it. Go ahead, Nova.
No, I was just saying blessing in facts, just saying facts to it. I totally agree.
It's a beautiful thing when, especially it's a beautiful thing when we've all kind of understand exactly where Leanne is coming from, because we've all walked that path, right? In some shape, form, or fashion. And so it's a beautiful thing to be able to resonate with that, because it's that growth process that we're all going through too. If you're not growing in life, then you're probably, dead, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but it's a life thing. It'll happen at one point, but it is a journey of creativity, and what feeds our soul at that moment that we need for whatever we're walking through, or whatever we're growing through, or whatever it is that we're having experiences around. So absolutely. Hey Darren, welcome on up. Did you want to jump in on this conversation before we wrap this amazing conversation up for today?
I'll be real. I've more just been listening and trying to gauge where you guys are at, and just listening to you. And I just thought I support this brilliant topic. Like, more people need to be more on point with building community and stuff. I don't necessarily agree with doing stuff for people without expecting things back. Because in the context of business specifically, have to do things with sort of money transfers in mind, but obviously that's a very specific context. But yeah, I have to think about community, because I've got to have a community on the back end of my website and what I offer. I teach people stuff on the internet, and after you've learned stuff with me, I want there to be a community where you can continue learning things. So having a community is definitely an important thing to me. So yeah, I was just listening to you guys, really, just see where you're at. I don't think I know enough about what you've been talking about to add more value to the room. I'm sorry, but yeah.
No worries at all, Darren. We just greatly appreciate you jumping up here, being a part of, the listening lounge, and up here on the thing, and just jumping in and being a part of this community today. So yeah, as we're wrapping up this amazing conversation today, guys, we've just been talking about the power of community, that since 2020, we've all understood the power of the need for community. And it's kind of shifted a lot since 2020, and not that was the ever catalyst, because there's been, we always need community. But just about how being able to be a part of community. And if you are building your own community, what that looks like, what value are you providing? Are you doing for others that you want them? So are you sharing other people's posts if you want there to share your posts or share your event? Are you going to other people's events if you want them to come? It's that whole kind of, as the day old saying says, give respect to get respect. A lot of times we, as whether we're in a professional setting or in a personal setting, we tend to look at the other person of what are you giving, and then I will give it back to you. And in reality, we need to turn that thinking around and just go give, and understand that we're giving because there's a true, authentic currency tied to when people are authentically being themselves out there creating or giving. And so what I mean by that is, are you going to be a part of other people's conversations? You have events like Nova was sharing. He has events, or he has, when he has events, he was looking at that from a point of view of, I want people to show up to my events or share about my events or, help support my events. But am I doing that for other people? Am I going out to my friends' businesses and saying, hey, you like to bake cookies. How can I support your business? How can I share, your next, baking good, event that you have, whatever it is that is in support of your friends or your families or your community. And it's really how communities are shifting from how it used to be, where it was what serves me and only me, like I'm creating a community because it serves me, but really showing up in your community and saying, I'm creating community because yes, I do have needs that I, have to have met, but what value can I bring into the community to where they feel like they are also winning and not feeling like they are just, a part of a giving factor only and not receiving. And so it's been a wonderful conversation. We've talked about a lot of pillars and, structures of community and how those are all, changing in times. And really it just comes down to, guys, whatever resonates with you, the vibe, the vibration of where you want to be within community and how you want to build it. It's all up to you. We were just sharing some things from what we've seen over the last 8 years of building our business and our communities, and really understanding that we used to be very much into, it was all about us. And we were, out there wanting people to be a part of our community because it was all about us. And we have so figured out that it is not about us. When we help enough people, have the support that they're looking for, and our support that we provide within our community is marketing and business strategies and foundation strategies, and then being able to make that pivot from Web 2 into Web 3 and how to pivot your business and be able to monetize your businesses through those structures and through those strategies. That's what we provide. A lot of times I'll tell you, if we got all of our pivot members up here and shared about what we provide to them, they'll talk about, Miss Cleo's one of them, they'll talk about the life lessons that we share too. That's not really a part of what, our community is about in the sense of, our general gist, but because of who we are, we learn from our experiences and we want to share those experiences with others. So you can go, okay, well, I learned that lesson through them. I'm never going to be doing that. Or that was their experience and I'm going to go, check it out for myself, whatever that is, however that knowledge, that value lands on you and you can use it. But with that said, today, we really do appreciate everybody being here. It's been a great conversation so much. We will be back tomorrow having at the same time. So we started this conversation today at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. We usually go for a couple of hours. And tomorrow's conversation is going to be cryptocurrency versus cash, the battle of the future of many utilizing the fintech technology. And so I'm going to be tomorrow's commentator about this. I'll be tomorrow's expert in this conversation. It's where I love to dabble in the Web3 space. As many of you know, we're a Web3 agency that helps you get your Web2 foundation set before you can make that pivot. And so tomorrow is going to be talking about strategies and foundations and understanding where we're in the fintech world, how that's going to affect us as businesses, where it's going to affect us as a society. This is not a conversation about investments. This is not us giving financial advice. This is us totally laying out what we understand, how we're making investment moves through the cryptocurrency space, and sharing with you guys the lay of the land of what we have learned through understanding where we're going as a society. Because as we all figured out in life, you know, when the internet boom came down at the late 1990s and the early 2000s, let me get that out, there was great opportunity for everybody to be able to make that pivot when they understood where we were going. And that's what tomorrow's conversation is to help people be able to take that knowledge for future strategy, right? And then Thursday, we usually do our Hello Pivot because that is 4th of July. We're taking that day off, letting everybody else have their day off. But we will be back Friday with our Getting Naked podcast. And for all of those that went, oh my God, they're getting naked. There's no part of anybody getting actual physically naked. This is not that type of show. This is all about having real, raw, authentic conversations. There is adult language. We are more adult language there than the professional language that you would see on our current applications of our rooms that we're doing right now. This is where we get to really get down and dirty and talk about what happens as business owners, the balance of life between business and professional and personal life. David and I are an interracial couple. So we talk about those nooks and crannies and what those look like in business and outside of business. We're also digital nomads, digital entrepreneurs. So we talk about the life of being able to travel this world and having these conversations. So it is a real, raw, authentic conversation. Again, it is no one's getting naked, but we're having getting naked conversations where people can actually just talk about what's going on. And as business owners, there's a lot of things that we come across that make us scratch our head and go, WTF, what was that all about? And so that allows us just to be able to have our space. So that is Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And how do you watch that? Well, we do that live in our metaverse, and the only place that you can watch it live is in our metaverse with us. If you're there live, then you get to be a part of the conversation and add to the conversation. But if you want to catch it on the backside, because I'm busy Friday night, I'm going to be nursing my hangover, and I'm going to want to listen to you guys on Saturday. It will be up in all places that you listen to typical podcasts, i.e. Apple, Spotify, all of those places. But more importantly, you can just go to thehellollc.io, which is our business in a box, and you scroll not very far down. Like I think it's one swipe, and you will see our Getting Naked podcast where you can listen to it live right there on one app, one tap right there. And
for episode 1.
For episode 1 is out right now. This is going to be this Friday will be episode 2. And then both of those will be out. So, by the way, we have nearly 50 other podcast episodes up. So you guys can go check those out. So this is season 3 that we took a bit of a hiatus, and now we're back, Jack, talking and chatting.
Yeah.
I was going to say talking shit. And by the way, we don't call nobody out by name.
But we're going to be talking about somebody asses.
We might, but if it's talking about David and Tara, we definitely will call each other out by name.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of that.
But definitely come and join us in this amazing conversation. That was amazing outro love of being able to showcase, all that we do. And Miss Lorena, I saw that you said that you're, in the process of writing your book. I definitely would encourage you to book an appointment with us, a free consultation, and let's talk about, how you can be able to have your book showcased and even more importantly, have your foundation in order with showcasing your books, because we have several authors that are utilizing our Biz in a Box to where now, you can be able to give a free chapter. You can be able to get away from Amazon. Everybody's running around here talking about I'm #1 bestseller, international, UK, all this other stuff. And really all they've done is got all their friends to go to their Amazon site and write a little survey, and boom, they're #1 Amazon bestseller, because it is not based on actual sales of books, to be honest. So if any of your friends are out there showcasing that, you ask them, can you please stop that? That gig is paid up. Unless they're a New York Times seller, if they're, something other than Amazon bestseller, then yes, That's cred streets like no other, but not for that other stuff. Okay. And we got to start really holding these people accountable when they come on here and use those, those terms, as we talked about earlier, when people use authenticity, when people use collaboration, they don't even much know how to spell it, but yet they talking about it. And so definitely be able to understand the new ways to implement your book, because not only that, Amazon takes anywhere from 30 to 60% of your book. Then if you want to do a book launch, right, there was a young gentleman and a young lady that did her book launch at Starbucks. And I shared with her, I said, so you probably had people that were trying to take your seats. You had the barista call out everybody's name. You had other people having conversations. You were in one location, and then they might have charged you, as they do it at Barnes and Noble, $500 to $5,000, depending on the location. They're going to take 30% of the book. And by the way, you also have to pay for their employees also to cater that event. And it's just boring. And this is where we showcase to people. Yeah, it's ineffective. And this is where we showcase to people, hey, have your grand opening, your book launch in our Hello Plaza metaverse, to where now you can share with people, hey, come to my metaverse and come and literally, read. I can read my experts of my book. I can showcase a video. You guys can join me and ask me questions. And now you can be all over the world. And this is what we share with people. To be able to build your community, you're going to have to implement these newer technologies to showcase your business in a completely different way that most people aren't getting those concepts. And this is where we continue to stay ahead of the curve and showcasing these things, and not just showcasing it, but doing it as well, as we've already done for Miss Crystal Bay with her book launch, Phoenix Rise, that she's going to probably be doing some more, and also other people that we have up and coming down the pipeline doing our events. And so with that being said, Miss Elena, please go to that link in the chat, book a time, follow us. We'll get back with you however you want to communicate. But either way, do something more than nothing. And more importantly, I definitely want to thank Miss Brenda. She's been in here since the beginning of this room that we started. So Miss Brenda, definitely, we appreciate your love and support. Come back and visit with us tomorrow at 4:30. And with that being said, love,
kindness,
integrity,
but most importantly,
commitment,
and consistency.
And until next time,
Toodles!
We'll see you guys later. Have an amazing day.